Stay out the rumble strips. Keep it between the lines. Anyway, I don't know if things are working out or not working out, but my dispatcher just got back from vacation, and I tried not to be rude, but I basically told him, I said, he said, good morning, I'm back, and this probably wasn't the best welcome back message, but I tried not to be rude, you know. And I said, good morning, welcome back. And then I told him, I says, what did I say? Hang on. Oh, he still hasn't even read my message. Oh, I said, I think I want to stick with Julia or find another dispatcher. Yeah, he hasn't even read it yet. So, oh, she sent me my load information. Okay. So she asked me, well, she sent me a whole bunch of stuff. My next load, asked me if I talked to Paul. I said, basically, yeah. I told him, blah, blah, blah. And I haven't heard anything back yet. So, she seems pretty cool and attentive. But the problem is, I guess driver relations or somebody like that just got done calling me and said she's an over-the-road dispatcher and I'm a Midwest regional driver, so that won't work. She was just a substitute dispatcher for me. So I told the guy, I said, I told the guy I talked to over the phone, I said, well, I liked Carlo, my original dispatcher, but he left and went to another company. Then I had Alex, which he was okay. You know, I don't really have anything great or bad to say about him. He was kind of neutral. He wasn't bad, he wasn't great. He wasn't as good as Carlo. But I didn't really have any trouble with him. You know, he was flexible, he worked with me. I liked him. You know, I can't say that I didn't like him, so I would have to say that I liked him. And then I got Paul, and him and I basically bucked heads from the get-go. You know, basically, like the one guy said, I sent him my book. And basically gave him a breakdown of who I am, how I operate, what he can expect from me, and what I expect from him. And it went in one ear and out the other. So, but I tried to give the guy the benefit of the doubt, tried to cut him some slack. But unfortunately, you can't cut people too much slack. Because like the old saying goes, you give them an inch and they'll take a yard, or a mile, or whatever, you know. I got that problem on my farm, you know. I got a friend, my friend and I started out as business partners, so to speak, because I thought he was more competent than he is. And I tried to set him up for success, and therefore, you know, he can help in return set me up for success. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Station ahead.
But no, instead he ended up mooching off of me and taking me for granted, and eventually taking advantage of me. So now I gotta find his replacement, and I think I might have found one. So I'm making improvements there, but I gotta make sure I don't make the same mistake with them. One's a girl and one's a dude, and she seems very business focused and business minded, business oriented. But I gotta remember not to do what I did with my friend. And basically not allow her to take advantage of me. And same with this other guy, you know, because it's partly my fault. Same with dispatchers. So, you know, if you let the dispatchers walk on you, they're going to continue to walk on you. So you got to give a little bit, but, you know, because it's all about give and take. You know, you can't have a one-sided relationship, whether it's business or personal.
Way station ahead.
So you give a little bit, but if they don't give, then why are you giving, right? You want to give relationship. You don't want to give-take relationship. And like I said, business or personal. And that's hard to do because you start giving and they start taking. If you keep giving and they keep taking, you get yourself kind of like in a trap. Kind of like this thing where I was watching this morning, I think, or last night, I can't remember. 21 Studios. The guy was talking about toxic relationships. Of course, he was using a personal analogy instead of a business analogy. And he also said it can go either way, male, female, you know, male, male, female, female. So it could work either way. It could work in business, it could work in personal, whatever. So he said the first few months, they elevate you and put you on a pedestal, so to speak, till they get all the proper hooks in you. You know, they find the chinks in your armor, and they get all those hooks in you to where you might be able to cut the cord on one of the hooks, but they got enough of the other hooks in you that you can't really go anywhere or do anything. That's the way I am with my friend. I'm too dependent on him, and I didn't have a backup plan. And so he just basically walked all over me. And that's why women tend to have the advantage in relationships, because women almost always have backup plans. They say 50% of married women have a backup plan, a backup dude already in the waiting. You know, he's on the sideline. She knows who he is. He may not know who he is, but she knows who he is. So, and even if a woman doesn't have a backup plan, she's usually got plenty of options. Women tend to have more options than dudes. So women tend to control and manipulate and control the relationship. Just because they know they got options. Now, if a dude's got options and he knows it, then he will tend to control and dominate the relationship. So, in business, I know I got options, I just gotta find them, right? Personal relationships, kind of 50-50, but that's neither here nor there. So, as a company driver, and with my record, with my experience, with my knowledge, I know that I have options. Therefore, I hold most of the cards. But again, I can't just dictate to my dispatcher or my company and say, you know, it's my way or the highway. Because if I do that too much, they're going to kick me to the curb. You know? So it's all about balance. And I'm not necessarily greedy. I mean, I can be. We all can be probably. But I have a certain parameter. You know, I want to make money. We all want to make money. But my home time is just important as making money. So when I'm out here on the road, I want to, run steady, but I don't want to kill myself, right?
Speed warning. Speed warning.
Because if I'm out here killing it, well, I don't mind killing it, I just don't want to kill myself, right? So if I'm out here killing myself, and then I go home, I'm worn out, right? And then I'm useless. I don't want to do anything. So, I want a steady run with a steady paycheck with steady home time. That's what I want. And so this guy, I give him the rundown, I give him my book, if you will, and he basically ignores it. So, and I don't mind staying out for a week. I just want my 2 days at home. 2 full days. So, that's not counting sleeper berth time. Sleeper berth time don't count,
Speed warning.
right? Because you go home for a 34-hour reset,
Warning.
depends on what time you get home, right? You get home at night and it's bedtime.
Warning.
You only got 12 hours. 12. I'm sorry, not 12. You only got like 14 to 16 hours to get done what you need to get done at home for that week. That's not good enough for me. I want 2 of those, right? So I need a full 2 days at home to do what I need to do to be productive. And so, say I get home Friday night. Technically, my day doesn't count till Saturday morning. Because whether I'm on the road or I'm at home, I gotta sleep, right? So, my clock doesn't start till the next morning. I get my 2 full days, I get my rest, I go, right? Because they wouldn't want me to count my sleeper berth as my work time, so why would I want to count my sleeper berth as my home time, right? So it goes both ways. But some people don't see it that way. They're just ignorant or selfish or greedy. Now, I think Paul is more of a company man. He's just thinking about himself and making himself look good for the company. He don't really care about the driver too much. Maybe he does a little. It's not evident. But, he's not a total douchebag or anything. I've had some really douchebag dispatchers. So, he did try a little, but I think it's mostly because I was on him, If I wasn't on him and I let him walk all over me, I'd probably never go home. And there was a couple times where he tried to manipulate me to stay out and not even go home. I'm like, what the hell, dude? First you try to force me to do a 34-hour reset. Now you're trying to talk me into staying out and not going home. That's not going to work for me, right? So, anyway. So yeah, we never got off on a good foot. And then, of course, he set my temporary substitute dispatcher up for failure by telling her I lived in Springfield when I lived an hour northwest of Springfield. So she not only sends me out a route to go home on a load, she sends me an extra 2 hours out a route to go home because she thought I lived in Springfield.
Speed warning.
So that just pissed me off even more. And he knew I didn't live in Springfield, but I don't know why he can't get it through his thick skull that I don't live in Springfield. But anyway, my first dispatcher, like I said, he was great. I wish I could find another dispatcher like him. My dispatcher at my last company, she was awesome. I wish I could find another dispatcher like her. But anyway, overall HMD is pretty cool. The guy that called me, he says, I will try to get this done today. He said, I'm glad you're addressing it ahead of time, which I didn't, actually. I procrastinated a little bit. But I more or less waited till I got triggered. But I was leading up to it, you know. I really wanted to get a different dispatcher at the beginning of this month, but I held off. And I let it fester a little bit too long, kind of like what I did with my friend. But at least I know here I got options, right? I got a lot more options here. I'd just be like, bam, I want a new dispatcher. This guy's not working out. And they're looking for me a new dispatcher. I should have a new dispatcher by the end of the day. If not by the end of the day, maybe tomorrow. You know, by the end of the month. So, because tomorrow's the end of the month, right? So, but the guy who called me, he was like, you know, I'll have you a solution in a couple hours. I'm like, oh, okay. I wasn't expecting it to be that quick. But anyhow, but anyways, so yeah. So April Fools, I'll start out with a fresh new dispatcher, and hopefully he or she's not a fool. Or don't try to make a fool of me. But, so wish me luck on both ends, my business side and my trucking side. The girl seems pretty cool. She seems high caliber. So hopefully she works out. And this other guy that is talking about coming down in a few months, he's a truck driver. He's talking about driving tag team slip seat with me. So 1 week he'll be out, 1 week I'll be out, and the other week, you know, we'll be home basically. So we'll just kind of slip seat, run team together, and so one of us can be home working on the farm and the project full time. And he seems like a go-getter. I'm not exactly sure what all of his interests are, because when he first came down last month and met David, he bolted. Yeah, that's my friend. My friend, he basically told me, he says, you literally have a bum living in your greenhouse full of trash and dead plants. I'm like, yeah, I know, that's my problem. That's my dilemma. That's what I'm dealing with. That's why I'm looking for his replacement. You know, he is my friend. I'm not going to put him out on the streets and make him homeless like his family did. But I now understand why his family wanted to get rid of him. Now, I believed his side of the story in the beginning, but now I'm like, I don't know if you were telling me the truth this whole time. You know? But I mean, I kind of like him. But the more I'm around him, the less I like him, because he keeps letting me down. But again, I don't want to make him homeless. So I'm thinking about just sticking him in the back corner with the other animals. No. But anyways, I mean, he lives like an animal. He lives like a troglodyte. So I can't really have him up front in the public view, because he lives like he lives in a pigsty. And I keep after him to clean up, and he won't clean up. He just loves living in filth.
3 miles, take exit 277
And
on the right,
I can't stand it.
294 toward
So, but
Indiana. Speed
he's
warning.
the most reliable, unreliable person I can find right now, or have been able to find. Hopefully these two people will work out. And of course I got my mom moving down now, so she's gonna watch my back
Speed warning.
also. Okay, fine, I'm speeding. Alright, hang on, I gotta slow down. My GPS is yelling at me. So anyways, wish me luck. Like I say, HMD seems pretty cool. I'm happy with HMD, just not my dispatcher. So I'll keep you up to speed I'll do an HMD pro and con video. Later. My truck number is 1141 if you're interested in hiring on. You know, finding a dispatcher is like trying to find a mate, you know. Sometimes you gotta, you know, date a few before you find a good one to stick with. And, oh, like this guy said on the phone, he says, you know, I'm glad you're saying something now instead of letting it fester. He didn't use those words, those are my words. I don't remember what he said exactly, but he said basically letting it build up, and then and he said a lot of drivers don't say anything. They just, you know, bottle it up, bottle it in, and then they just quit. And I'm not really that kind of guy. I can be, but I like to nip things in the bud, but I also don't like to jump the gun. I try not to jump the gun. I can be a little bit emotional. I can be easily triggered. Can be. Not always. You know, I try to put myself in other people's shoes, and I try to see things from different perspectives. I'm not always successful at it, but I try, right? Oh, I gotta get over.
In 2 miles, take US 12, US 20, US 45 South Log Ridge Road.
What am I doing? I need over one more. No, I don't. I need over here. Shit.
Half a mile, take exit 277.
I don't know where I'm going.
Onto I-294 toward Indiana.
You think the first exit would be the south exit, but no, it's the north exit. The second exit is the south exit. You know, I'm going north on 55, but I'm going south on 294. What's this
The
one?
first exit on the right, onto I-294.
So my old Rand McNally wants me to take US 12, which is LaGrange Road. My new Rand McNally wants me to take 294, and of course Google says 294. So I'm going 294. So anyway, yeah, I studied psychology for many, many moons. Not like textbook psychology, you know,
Turn left ahead.
working man's PhD psychology. Automobile.
In 3 miles, to the left on I-294. Engine braking ahead.
Automobile University. That was almost a pickle. Still kind of is. Chicago traffic, gotta love it. Gotta love it. You know, so anyways, Automobile University. I don't do as many MP3s or audiobooks like I used to. Now I more or less do YouTube. You know, it's like I got a bunch of YouTube videos in my queue. And it's mostly talk, you know, educational stuff. So I'll listen to those while I'm driving. But I used to go out and buy audiobooks, educational audiobooks, and I listened to them while I was driving. And then when I got CDs and a laptop,
I got going good on the northbound side here.
And then MP3 players, I started, you know, putting everything on MP3 and listening to everything at random. So I used to listen to, you know, Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, Donald Trump, you know, Carlton Sheets, what's his face, Kevin Trudeau, all, you know, different health success, business, psychology gurus. Gary Smalley, the guy who wrote The 5 Love Languages, the guy who wrote Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, Mars and Venus in the Workplace, you know, relationships, psychology, business, all that stuff. So I try to self-reflect and I try to self-analyze as much as I can. I try to put myself in other people's shoes and try to give people the benefit of the doubt. But sometimes you can do that too much, and then you allow people to take advantage of you and walk all over you. So, yeah, it's a balance. It's like a tightrope act, and I'm still learning how to walk that tightrope.
In half
But-
a mile, keep left onto I-294.
In 1/2 mile, keep to the left on I-294.
I myself don't want to be, you know, narcissistic or a douchebag or anything like that. So it's
Enter
like,
highway onto I-294.
how do you be nice but not too nice? But how do you be stern and not too stern to where you become an asshole? So that is the trick, and that's what I'm learning, because I
Keep
tend to
the
be
left on I-294.
on
Keep
the
left onto I-294.
I tend to be on the too nice side. It's like my ex-wife's father used to say, there's only 2 types of people in this world. The prey and the predator. Now, I used to think I could prove that guy wrong. Unfortunately, I don't think I
In
can.
2 miles, take US 12 East, US 20 East 95th Street.
It's kind of like, well, okay, so oh, excuse me. I know not everything's black and white. There's some gray areas, 50 shades of gray. But you know, it's kind of like you have your liberals and you have your conservatives, but not everybody's liberal and not everybody's conservative. You have some people who are liberal conservatives, and you have people who are conservative liberals. So there are people who have the tendency to be a predator, right? But they are working on themselves, and therefore they aren't 100% predator. You know, it's kind of like you would think that cats would hunt chickens, but if you raise the cats with chickens, and they won't prey on the chickens. Maybe they might prey on the baby chicks, but they won't prey on the chickens. They'll have some respect for the chickens. Cats don't typically hunt chickens anyways, unless they're, you know, smaller chickens. But same with dogs. Dogs are predators, and you raise them with chickens. As long as the dog doesn't know any better, the dog's not going to hunt the chickens. But once the dog learns that he's a predator and the chicken is the prey, it's going to be pretty tough.
US 12 East, US 20 East 95th Street, and then go straight at 0.2 miles.
It's going to be pretty tough to train that dog not to kill your
Speed
chickens.
limit reduced ahead.
And that's basically how it works, you know.
Take US 12 East, US 20 East 95th Street, and then go straight at 0.2 miles.
Alright, this is where we get off.
Take the second exit on the right onto West 95th Street.
So anyway,
Rollover warning ahead.
so that's my update for today or
Go
whatever.
straight on West 95th Street, US 12.
I got an Eat Your Dying update, so I'll probably do that tonight. see what I did right or wrong or
West 95th
whatever.
Street toward US 12 East.
But so I might have a new dispatcher in the next couple days. So that's cool. Like I said, I don't hate Paul. We've been bucking heads since the beginning. And I tried giving him a chance. I should have got rid of him a long time ago, but you know, I tend to try to give people a chance. So you got to stand your ground. If it's not working, you got to stand your ground, even if you're giving them a chance. And if it doesn't work, get rid of them and replace them as quickly as possible. So, in your personal relationships, you know, maybe it requires a little bit more flexibility. But don't let people walk on you.
3
Yeah.
miles. Turn left onto South Cicero Avenue.
Learn from my example, or my bad example. Don't let people walk on you. It's not going to turn out well. Nip it in the bud as quickly as you can. Alright, I guess that's it. So
Speed
long,
warning.
farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. I know, don't quit my day job. Alright, goodbye.